Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is the second video on the renovation process with my preferred lender, Tori. First step is always getting the pre-approval, and Tori's going to explain that right now. Same as always buying a house.
Hey everyone, so it's nice and easy, no different than buying a regular house without a renovation loan. First thing you're gonna wanna do is get with us. We're gonna get your information, we're gonna have you send us all your paperwork, and we're gonna be able to tell you the amount you're pre-approved for. Whether 300,000 for a house that you're gonna buy that needs no renovation, or a house that you may buy for 100 and it needs 200 in renovation, or a house you may buy for 280 and it needs 20 in renovation. But simply put, you're gonna get a number that you can be pre-approved for, and let's just assume that number's 300, and that is no different, no extra steps than where you're regularly getting pre-approved. From there, we would give the ball to Joe, and I'll let you know what his. Joe, take it away and let him know what your end of it would be from there then.
So if you got a pre-approved for 300,000. Let's say we're not finding homes in that 300,000 range that are perfect for you. Okay, fine. Let's go to the $200,000 range and see where I come in is, okay, we buy a home for 200,000, and if my costs are around 80 to 100K to put into it, is that ARV gonna comp out on the appraisal? Because that's where most deals fall through, is you put that money into it, but then it's not worth the value. Um, it's not worth the value, the ARV basically, once you're finished. So that's where I come in as a one-stop shop is, okay, Tori gave me a pre-approval for 300,000. We've been looking for 3 or 4 weeks. 300,000 not really working. We want something larger, but we got a place that is not, up to date, not gonna pass the standards of VA or FHA. So let's do the renovation process. Okay, let's put 50 to 100K into it. Is it gonna be, my process is, okay, I'm gonna look at comps around and see if that property's gonna be worth 300K. See if that property's gonna be worth 280K if we're putting 80K into it, because it has to be a one-to-one comparison, basically.
Yep. And then the key about that, everyone, the final step and why most renovation loans people think are tough or fall apart is because they don't have that key that Joe does for you. Your realtor is taking you to see a place, regardless of if it's 200,000 and needs 100, or if it's 280 and needs 20, or whatever it may be. Then Joe, as the realtor, is going to be able to say, okay, great, we're going to buy it for 200. But then Joe, as the builder, is going to say, if I put, what do you guys want to do with it? I want to do this with it. Then Joe says, okay, that can be done for 100. We now know. Then Joe's realtor hat goes back on and says, and what we do will appraise out. Now we know this is good to go, and it's just like any other loan, it will go smooth as far as getting approved and moving forward. So that's where most loans fall apart, where it wouldn't here. So you come to us, and in summary, you come to us, we give you the number 300. You go to Joe, you figure out what the combination is going to be to get to 300. Again,
Correct.
it's 280 for 20 grand, a house that's 100 with 200 grand, you know, and Joe will, if you can't do it for that money, then there's no reason to move forward. But that's really where the rubber meets the road, where Joe comes in great handy, and having this as a one-stop shop, and he wears both hats. When it comes back in our lane to say, Tori, this is going to go. We know this is going to pass when you put the loan up, and it's going to pass the litmus test of, will it now appraise out at the 300 that we think it's going to with the work we're doing? And that's where
Correct.
realtor hat and his builder hat come in play, and they talk to each other simultaneously. That's your really key to getting these done. That's everything. And then
Yeah,
from there, we move forward like a regular loan.
exactly. And the major things we look for, well, for most ARVs, kitchen, bathrooms, basements, the stuff people are looking for. So that all comes into play, and the comps we're looking at, just so people can know, are renovated comps because we're renovating that property. So to give you an idea of what the comps I'm looking at.
And Joe needs to be able to tell the future, right? What's the house going to be
Yeah,
once it's done with these things, which is the importance of having Joe as a one-stop shop as the builder and the realtor. They're talking to each other, because that's where the rubber, that's where the really important part is. That's the benefit of you'll get with Joe. So you won't move forward on a deal that in the end will fall apart because the numbers don't work out.
yeah, and we don't want the deal to fall apart after 30, 45 minutes.
Right.
So
All right.
exactly.
That's step two, everyone. We'll be back, with more steps.
Next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.